Ooh, we are actually live. I was supposed to start at 5 o'clock today, but our power went out. So I had to schedule the masterclass for 5:30. Now, if the power electricity goes out again, I'm just going to pre-record the lesson, upload it into Thinkific so you can watch the course on demand. And if you've already enrolled in or registered for this event, you will have access to session one, which I recorded in December, and then right now we're doing session two. I definitely am not going to be fighting with trying to make sure I go live every day for the next 3 days. If the power goes out again today, I am just probably going to just pre-record all three lessons just to be on the safe side, due to the inclement of the weather. And I know there are a lot of you all who are going through this right now. So let's hope for the best, and we are going to go ahead and get started. I just want to make sure that I'm actually live on LinkedIn and you all can hear and see me very well. I'm going to mute my phone. You might hear a little bit of background. Let's see. Post. Mm. Bonds, equities, alternatives. No. I see myself. There's one person, it looks like that they're online. All right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take a chance and start. If you can hear me, type 4 in the chat. And if you can see me, there might be a little bit of a lag time, but as I mentioned before, we had a power outage. So we are just now getting started. And again, if it goes out again, I'm just going to pre-record the lesson and then it'll be uploaded into Thinkific. Okay, so today is day one of the 3-day masterclass. We are going to be discussing what happens after you have been certified as a minority woman business enterprise organization. So that's going to be our topic. If you don't know what the certification means, go back to December's live lessons. I did a 4-day masterclass stretch on the importance of why having the certification, why you need it as a clinical research entrepreneur, site owner, and the benefits that come with it. So, for me, I've already been certified, and my capability statement is almost done. I had to do a little bit of tweaking after meeting with a lady at the Apex Accelerator organization. So I will kind of show you what it looks like. But again, just to forewarn you, I do need to tweak it just a little bit, but it's going to give you an idea of what a capability statement looks like and the information that you need to have on there. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay. We are going to talk about the importance of a capability statement, why it's required, how the buyers use them, and why this step comes after the certification. My name is Alicia Moore. I am the CEO of Clinical Science Research Solutions, and I'm also the founder of I Am Research and Wellness Foundation. We are actually certified as a MWBE, and we are also certified CREO partner as well. Again, we'll be making those announcements soon, but it's kind of already, it's on their page anyway. So just to let you all know. Who is this for? If you are a clinical research founder, entrepreneur, if you're a site owner, consultant, If you're a healthcare provider, like a doctor, nurse practitioner, or if you're in the regulated industry leaders such as clinical research, again, healthcare, biotech, medical device, government facing vendors, this webinar is exactly for you. Again, what are you going to learn? You're going to learn the definition of a capability statement, why it's required for a B2G procurement system. If you don't know what B2G means, it means business to government. You're going to understand how federal, academic, and institutional buyers actually use them. Why does a capability statement come after the certification? And you're going to understand why a capability statement signals supplier seriousness, and they're going to see you as they're taking a risk on you because they don't see you as a high risk supplier and or vendor. Most people think that the capability statement is just like a marketing document, like a resume for your business, maybe like a sales pitch. And that's not necessarily so for B2G clientele. I mean, you are marketing your business, and it is like a resume for your business, but that's not the words that we use for government. That's not what they are wanting to hear. And it's just not the lingo that you are wanting to say to, any government agency that's looking at that's doing the what is it called, the RFP proposal, the solicitations. That's not how they word it. Obviously, it's called a capability statement for a reason. So what is a capability statement? So your capability statement is a 1 to 2 page document. Mine is 1 page. It's used by federal buyers, contracting officers, supplier diversity teams, universities and hospital systems, and prime contractors. Its purpose is seen as a risk evaluation. Buyers use capability statements and they decide if you're credible, are you compliant, and are you worth moving forward? What separates you from all the other vendors that are out there that have similar services to yours? So what are the key components of a capability statement? And we're going to discuss why the metrics matter. So let's go over the standard overview of a capability statement. It contains your company overview, your NAICS and PS codes, and those codes come from sam.gov. You have to register your business with sam.gov, and then you have to figure out what codes are applicable to your business based upon the services that you offer within your business. Your core capabilities, what are you capable of doing? Differentiators, what differentiates you from your competitor? What's your past performance? What have you done in the past? And your company data. These sections, it communicates, again, capability, what you're capable of doing, kind of like, capability statement is actually right there, the meaning of it. Are you credible? Does it demonstrate you are a company that they can buy at a reduced risk? Because if they see you as a high risk, they're not going to invest in you. And what are your measurable outcomes? Similar to whenever you create your resume CV, not only do you want to have qualitative information, you need to have quantitative information as well. So your company overview. So it describes who you are, who you serve, why do you even exist in a buyer's language. Usually it's like, I would say 2 to 3 sentences max. It's industry focused. It's buyer type, whether you're looking to government, universities, hospitals, or prime contracting opportunities. It is a high level outcomes of what you support, high level overview of your company. And I will tell you right now, whenever the buyers are looking at your capability statement, you better be able to explain what you have to do, because they're going through and scanning it in a zigzag motion. You're looking at about maybe 6 seconds, tad bit longer. And you want to make sure that you're able to convey what your company, who you are in a short time period. So the length is 2 to 3 sentences. You don't need to add any fluff. They're going to be able to tell that you're adding fluff, and you're not. If you're adding fluff, then you really don't know what your business has to offer. And you need to focus on the problem that you're solving and not your passion. You need to focus on, in the buyer's sense, they're looking for an outcome. What's the outcome after they have purchased your services? What are going to be your deliverables? If you're looking at an RFP proposal or solicitation, you better be able to ensure that your business model, the services that you have to offer, actually you'll be able to deliver the whatever is in that proposal, depending upon what organization you're wanting to serve. If it's just universities, you need to speak the university language. If it's just hospitals, you need to speak their language. So what you're not, I call them NAS codes, PSC codes. What's the purpose of those? Well, it's going to help identify the services you have to offer. It confirms procurement, alignment, and eligibility. So it goes like this. You have your primary codes, NAS codes, your secondary and PS codes, if applicable. Again, those codes, you assign those codes to your business as you're registering your business in sam.gov. It's listed in bulleted points or maybe comma. 3 to 6 codes max. I actually would recommend 6 codes. And it should be in a format that way the buyers can actually scan to see if your codes are in alignment with what they need done or what kind of services that they need for their actual business. We mentioned core capabilities. That's part of your capability statement. So what is the purpose? It defines what you can actually deliver at your organization. So your specific services, the systems, programs, your deliverables. Again, the way you structure it is 4 to 6 bullet points, maybe 7 to 11 words per bullet point, action-oriented language. And then also you need to be able to convey what you do clearly, and you need to have metrics that go along with it. And again, you'll be able to see how I've written mine out here shortly. Differentiators. How are you different from your competitor? It explains why you versus everyone else without all the hype and you just fluffing up what you can and cannot do or what differentiates you from everybody else. So you can list your certifications, any kind of partnerships, proprietary systems, specialized expertise, compliance strengths. If you, let's say, create courses, and how many courses did you create? And what kind of courses did you create? What kind of business model do you have? And again, the structure is 3 to 5 bullet points. It must be verifiable, and it must matter to your buyer. Your differentiator is not personality traits. They are risk reducing factors. So again, your competitor may say, I have developed workforce curriculum for clinical research entrepreneurs. But that doesn't really say, let's say, how many courses did you create? And then if you created those, how many enrolled and how many actually completed your courses? So that's going to make a difference between you, somebody else that just says, oh, I created a curriculum, versus you actually quantifying how many curriculums you created, how many students enrolled, and how many students actually, completed your course. And maybe like at a 90%, most of them created or completed the course 90%, with a 90% exam, something. Let's say they scored a 90%, or most of them completed the course 90% of the time, something along those lines. But you understand what I'm saying. Adding in those metrics will help differentiate you from your competitor. So your past performance, what did you do in the past? So it proves that you can deliver. So if you haven't had a contract or a client, you can actually go by what you've done, let's say, within your job that's applicable to the RFP proposal. So again, what goes here, the contract type, client type, scope of work, outcomes. If you don't have contracts yet, pilot programs, partnerships, internal projects, workforce initiatives, any type of training programs that you have actually created and delivered. Let's say it's a webinar. You have delivered several webinars. How many webinars did you deliver? How many people registered for your webinar? And how many people actually showed up for your webinar? And again, you structure it, I'm going to say a good maybe 3 to 4 bullet points. And again, use those metrics when possible because it strengthens your credibility, your capability statement. Company data, plain and simple. The name of your company data. So for me, it's Clinical Science Research Solutions, LLC. If you're an LLC, C Corp, make sure you add that language onto the end of your business. It's my understanding if you don't, they can actually go after, it could be some legal issues that go along with that. So this is the final credibility check. So what goes here? The name of your business, your certifications, your UEI number, which is generated from SAM.gov, your CAGE codes, that's CAGE codes that's generated from SAM.gov, the location, let's say for me, I am in Southeast Missouri, Sikeston, Missouri, in a rural area, your contact number, that can be your LinkedIn profile, email address, phone number, what else? And your company website. And again, it's short, clean, scannable, and it's straight to the point. Let's talk about why metrics matter. I briefly discussed it a minute ago, but the numbers it measures, what does it measure? Percentages? Do you save time? Are you able to reduce costs? Are you able to scale? What volume did you have? How many customers or clients were you able to take on? Which is also going to help you go for contracts that you're capable of actually delivering the results. The reach, how many, let's say if you created courses, is it just for the United States or is it global? And if it is global, you need to quantify, what kind of reach did you have? Is it 11 countries? Is it 11 countries globally, 12 countries, 100 countries? Qualifiable data, it demonstrates compliance, readiness, operational maturity, risk mitigation, and buyer confidence. Whenever I'm able to, and really this goes for an employer, whenever they're able to see the qualitative and quantitative on your capability statement or resume, if you're going, the 9 to 5, that's going to let them know that you're able to deliver the results or what you're capable of doing. And then if you're able to save the company some money, and if that's something that they're looking for, like, hey, we don't want to do all this training because it costs us too much. Well, if you're able to articulate that you're able to train a cohort of 25 principal investigators at a reduced cost, that's going to be more attractive to them versus just saying, I train 25 principal investigators. Okay. Did they graduate from your program? And were they actually ready? That's another thing too. The programs or services that you have to offer, are they valuable? Are they substantial? Again, do they offer value? And the people that you train, are they able to go out into, let's say, the workforce and actually apply the principles and education that you delivered to them? And if that you can show that and demonstrate that, then again, that's your signaling like compliance. Your company, you're able to operate at a certain capacity, and then they can buy with confidence, knowing that they have invested in your business. And then also, if you're able to deliver, or when you're able to deliver those results, then that's whenever you're looking at contracts, repeated contracts that will come your way, because you have demonstrated that you're credible, you're reliable, and that you can do the work as a company. So, how do buyers use capability statements? They use it to pre-screen vendors before meetings. If you think about it, whenever you're applying to a job, recruiters do the same thing. Hiring managers do the same thing. They're going to pre-screen you to make for sure that what you have to offer is in alignment with their needs. Because if you are writing your capability statement or writing your resume in a way that doesn't say it's solving a problem, you're going to get overlooked. And you're not going to, be able to have those meetings, right? Kind of the same thing with an interview. In a perfect world, I guess. It decides who gets added to the vendor list. And I will say this from experience. After I was certified, I knew what organizations I wanted to target, if you will. So I made a list of something that I will tell you to do towards the end. I made a list of supplier diversity organizations that recognizes the MWBE certification. I made out a list, and I actually started proactively. Once I was certified and had my capability statement done, at least the first draft, I went and applied at WashU University right there in St. Louis. And you fill out the application. And of course, they ask for like your certification and your capability statement, And then if they like what they see, then they will call you for an interview, set up an interview to have you explain your business model, what it has to offer, and what kind of mutual benefit, I will have, let's say, with WashU, and WashU will have with me. What kind of problem am I solving for them? I did have that meeting, I think it was last week. And then the beauty of it is, if you all are a site owner and you have a nonprofit organization like myself, well, with WashU, you can register your for-profit business, fill out that application. And then if you have a nonprofit organization, you can fill out that application as well. And to me, it's like the best of both worlds. One is more community-based, and then the other one is more of, B2B, if you will, B2B. So who decides? They decide who gets added to the list, the vendor list, the RFP invitation, subcontracting opportunities. Buyers use capability statements to confirm the NAICS, I call it NASC alignment, certification validity. You will have to upload your certification, the capability scope, organizational maturity. If your capability statement is weak, the conversation is not going to happen. What's the critical truth here? The buyers, they're not looking to be impressed. They're looking for, again, are they investing in someone that is a high risk or a low risk? They want you to articulate a clear scope, clear outcomes, a clear alignment, and clear compliance. This is not the time to be cute. This is the time to state facts and make sure that you're able to deliver what you say you can deliver. Okay. Your capability statement, why does it come after the certification? Well, for one, you want to make sure that are actually certified. You don't want to go and create a capability statement and then you don't pass the certification process. But, that's pretty rare. More than likely you should. So the correct order in B2G, and if you don't know what B2G means, is it means business to government. See, with my organization, we serve B2B clients, and then now we're looking at B2G, which is, okay, business to business and business to government. So the order goes like this. You go for your certification that screams eligibility. Your capability statement says, hey, this is you're credible, right? Visibility and outreach, we're going to talk about that tomorrow, how you're discoverable to the buyers. And then once you're discoverable, and then your NAS codes, your business, whoever you're trying to target, if it's in alignment, then that's whenever you're going to start seeing solicitations, RFP proposals based upon what that organization needs. And then if you're able to articulate it very well, then here comes the contracts and then the revenue. The certification, it gets you in the door, but your capability statement determines if you move forward. I will go on to say, after I met, and I'll talk about this here shortly, after I met with the Apex Accelerator project manager, I think that's her title. She helped me, make sure that I need to tighten up my capability statement. And also she is going to teach me on the actual platform. I can't remember the name of the platform. The type of organizations that were awarded contracts similar to your business or similar to the NAS codes that you have for your business. So what you can do is, and what she showed me was the codes that are applicable to your business. You can actually take that code and do a search, and it will pull up businesses or organizations that have won contracts based upon the code that you have for your business. And I'm going to tell you something. The code, the businesses that were awarded contracts were not small contracts. And as a site owner, if you're looking to diversify your income, I encourage you to get this certification. I encourage you to create your capability statement, because this is going to open up another door that I have never fathomed in my life. I saw the amount of money that has been awarded to organizations that has similar NAS codes as mine or same NAS codes as mine, and they are not small contracts. You're looking, I saw one business that was awarded $4 million for 4 years. I saw another business that was awarded $800 million. And even if you're not, I'll just kind of go off on not saying if you're not in the clinical research space, a plumber. If you have a plumbing business, you're a minority owned business owner. There was an individual that was, he became a multimillionaire within 3 years. So the government contracting, the subcontracting is a very lucrative business, and it's very lucrative for you to get into, and just to understand that there are other ways of making money and taking the services and products that you have, let's say as a site owner, knowing that you can diversify your income and take a different route. It really opens up other doors, and it kind of opens up your mindset if that's the route you choose to take, right? So why certification alone is not enough? There are some organizations, hey, if you notice right here, the MWBE, the logo, they just want the logo. They just want to say, hey, we're certified, we're a minority business owner, we're a small business owner, and we just want the certification. Some organizations, they don't even go for the contracts. They just want this piece here, the logo, as kind of like a marketing piece. But of course, for me, that's not the case. So again, why certification alone is not enough? Certification answers, are you eligible? You get your certification, it says you're eligible. Your capability statement answers, are you capable, compliant, and are you a low risk? So your buyers expect certifications listed. They also expect for matched, for you to match your services to their RFP proposal. And it's backed by systems and structure. What you don't want to do is go after a solicitation that has nothing to do with your business model. So, I mean, this is kind of clear. We're in the clinical research space. For those of you that are clinical research entrepreneurs, site owners, you know what lane you're in. Now, if you're going for a capability or RFP proposal that is, I don't know, construction, that's way out. That's not even in your lane. You know, you're not going to even be considered, and they're going to even question if you are. Why are you even trying to do something like this if you can't even go for uh, contracts that you're capable of doing, or the work matches what they need, right? Or your services matches the government agency or the academic institution. You know, there's got to be a match somewhere, and you can't fake the funk, right? I mean, that's blunt and to the point, but you can't fake it. I need a drink of water. Make sure you put your questions in the chat if you have them. Your capability statement is going to signal that you're serious. You're a serious vendor and supplier. I will say that once you have your capability statement done, what you need to do, and you'll see this tomorrow, but what you need to do is it's called DSBS, and that's how the buyers are able to look you up. You know, you get registered in sam.gov. I mentioned that earlier, and you give it about 24 to 48 hours, and then you're going to go to a platform that's called SBA, and then make sure you're able to claim your business in that platform. And then once you're able to claim it, then you're going to be able to add in your capability statement and then like your company overview. And once they see that you have those certifications and even the WOSB certification, that's going to say that you're serious. Also, it's best that you have a website, because with that website, your capability statement, I'm going to have my marketing team work on that, can go on your website, and the tab that you need to have on your website should say either capability or government statement, something along those lines. So whenever those buyers are going into the DSBS and looking your business up, you're going to be able to hyperlink either your website, your capability in there so they can go directly to your website, or you can just link your capability statement link in there and they can just go directly to your capability statement. I would recommend that you go ahead and make sure you have your website done and it looks great. It's speaking to the buyer and you're speaking a language that says, hey, these are the outcomes that I can deliver for your business because I know it's a pain point and I'm willing to solve it and I can solve it. Okay. Again, a strong capability statement tells buyers that you understand procurement systems, you know how to speak the buyer language, you are not some hobby business. They're not going to even look at you, so don't even try a hobby. Make sure your business is legit, and they're going to check for that too. You are contract ready, and you understand compliance expectations. You know, as a clinical research entrepreneur or site owner, you already understand compliance really matters. Well, it's the same thing whenever you are getting ready to serve your B2G clientele. It's a very serious matter and they're looking for structure. Same thing as a site owner. Sponsors are looking for structure. They're looking for credibility. They're looking for past performance. And they're looking, if you don't have the past performance, they're looking to see if you're credible and can you do the work? Are you able to meet those goals that you have said you could meet, like during the feasibility process? That's something else to talk about. But anyway, I'm hoping that I'm able to convey this as a serious matter and you understand why a capability statement signals that you're serious about serving your B2G clientele. Okay, so who needs a capability statement, especially in clinical research? If you are wanting to work with government agencies, universities, hospitals, and I'm going to tell you right now, for hospitals, the way their supplier diversity program is set up a little different. You can apply, let's say, I think it's Mercy Health. Mercy Health Hospital, they're out of St. Louis, and they have actually bought out a couple of hospitals, I think, here in Psych Center in Cape. You can go in and fill out their supplier diversity application, but they have a whole nother platform that you have to go through so they can vet your business out, because it's such a risk. They're taking these agencies are taking a risk on you, so they have to make sure that you are a legitimate business, and again, that you're reliable, you're credible, and you're, trustworthy. So they have a different system, almost kind of like a drug screen, not necessarily so, but those are the steps that they take to make sure you are legitimate, and that what you have to offer is legitimate, and they're not putting you in the forefront of their clients and risking, losing their credibility, because if they find out that you're not credible, well, you've lost that opportunity. So let me reel it back in. Again, if you're wanting to work with hospital systems, CROs, well, sponsors, pharma as subcontractors, again, pharma supplier diversity programs, workforce development contracts, research and infrastructure initiatives. Let me go back to the workforce development. I did not realize, after meeting with the lady at the accelerator, Apex Accelerator, workforce development is huge. It is a business, it's a lucrative business as well. The government actually pours millions into workforce development. So if that is what you offer, make sure you're clear on what you offer. And I will tell you right now, one of the organizations or businesses that was awarded a contract in the workforce development space, again, they were awarded $4 million over a 4-year period. So $1 million a year. Clinical research, workforce development, compliance is a high value B2G opportunities. And those are not the only ones, but only if you position it correctly. Differentiator, what you do after the capability statement. And again, your differentiator, how you differentiate yourself, is going to help you stand out from your competitors. The capability statement is not the end point, it's just a starting point. Again, after creating your capability statement, it's serious. It's a serious matter, right? You are validating it against buyer expectations. You are aligning it with procurement systems. You are refining your language for compliance and risk reduction. And you're going to use it strategically for outreach and visibility. So whenever I met with the lady, and you get your certification with the state that you live in, a lot of times, at least my experience, what they're going to do is email you other resources that you can tap into that's going to help strengthen you as a business owner and strengthen you as a vendor, And one of the ones was the Apex Accelerator. Within the Apex Accelerator, they offer courses to you so you can understand like this whole procurement system and how to be competitive and how to win the actual contracts. So again, you use it strategically for outreach. And then also they let you know about any kind of conferences or summits that are coming up, because a lot of times at these conferences or summits, the government buyers, they are there. So you need to make sure your capability statement is on point. It will kind of be like a general, I wouldn't say kind of like a general capability statement, because each buyer has specific needs. So you can hand out your capability statements as the professional that you are. And then you can probably let them know, like, depending upon what kind of services that they have to offer or that they need for their business, you can actually let them know, like, hey, here's my capability statement, but I can send you one, a revised one based upon what you need at your organization. I just mentioned the Apex Accelerator. They are federally funded procurement assistance programs. They help businesses understand the B2G contracting processes, your capability statements. They will tell you now you don't need to go in and you don't have the capability statement ready. You need to have some kind of a baseline ready. That way they can actually go through and let you know like what you need, which part you need to switch up or what you need to leave out or what you need to strengthen. Also, they're going to make sure that you have your NAS codes there and whatever organization or whatever contracting opportunity that you're going for, they're going to make sure your codes are in alignment with that contract opportunity. And it's also going to get you ready for the procurement process. And these services are free or low cost support. Right now, for me, it's free. And what they do is you meet with them, and you can meet with them every week. I have a meeting with mine the first week of February. He or she will assign, at least for me, some courses for you to take, and then they're free. They give you a code. You go through and select the courses. They're going to recommend some courses for you to take on demand. And then you can actually go through, and if you see other courses that you feel will be beneficial to you to help strengthen you as a business owner, a supplier, vendor, then you can add those courses to your repertoire and use the code, and they are absolutely free. So this organization, they are a solid educational resource, and they really are. They help you understand the system. They guide you on how to structure your capability statement on which I just mentioned. And they assist you with finding buyers that is specific to your NAS codes. That way you're not wasting time. And I really encourage you to tap into these resources, especially whenever you're new. And even if you're not necessarily new to it, these resources are there for you to take advantage of. Let's go over a little bit of a recap for today. What did you learn? You learned the definition of a capability statement, how your buyers actually view capability statements, why the capability statement comes after certification. We went over the core components of a buyer ready statement, why metrics, quantifiable and qualifiable data matter. You also learned why capability statements signals that you're serious and you reduce buyer risk. You are they can invest in you and they see you as not at a high risk, right? So today was about understanding how the systems work, not necessarily writing it yet. And then once you understand how buyers think, everything else becomes a little easier. So what I want you to do today, I kind of like giving you some action items. Again, if you have not gotten this far and you're not certified, go back and watch my videos on YouTube so you can understand what you actually need to become a certified minority business enterprise organization within your state. So for today, you can write out your capability statement if you've gotten this far after you've been certified. Identify one agency or institution you want to serve. So certain companies, I see a typo here. Let's say like with Washington University, WashU, right there out of St. Louis. If you type in, do a search, supplier diversity program, it should bring up their supplier diversity page. And they're going to talk about what, their core, what they're all about, their mission. And then somewhere along the way, you're going to see that it'll say they work with MWBE certified small business owners, WOSB, business owners, MWBE minority business owners. You're going to see that language somewhere on their supplier diversity page. So that will give you a reason, and that will give you a signal to go ahead and fill out the application. Or if they don't have an application online, they normally have like an email address that you can email the supplier diversity team and let them know like, hey, that you're interested in becoming a supplier vendor for them, and letting them know what kind of services and what kind of business model and services that you have to offer that can solve their pain point. Again, identify one problem they actively pay vendors to solve. and review your current services through a buyer's lens and not a marketing lens. Okay, we have reached the end of this for day one. Now, day two, we're going to be talking about how buyers actually find you in a platform called DSBS. We'll go over that tomorrow. And I'm going to see if anybody has any questions. I don't see anything yet. I did say I was going to show you my capability statement. So let me pull it up. Hmm. I'm going to give you kind of like an overview of what your capability statement should look like. Again, I'm still in the middle of switching some things around, but it's going to give you an idea of what it should look like. And then once my capability statement is done, it's really, it's going to go on my website and then it's going to go into the DSBS system. I'll, have a revised version. Okay, your capability statement. Okay, it's going to say capability statement. Again, I'm doing some switching around, but I just want you to get an idea on the format of what it looks like. So you have the company information, like your cage codes, and actually it's not DUNS, it's just EUI. DUNS doesn't matter anymore, it doesn't exist. Actually, that will go into the company data. Let's say, for instance, if you have a website, phone number, that's going to go underneath here. My edited version, you see Clinical Science Research Solutions, it's going to be comma LLC, like we have here at the top. As you can see, the company overview that I have right here, it looks like, let's see here. Two sentences. Manas codes, that's going to go under company data, as I said. But just to give you an idea of what your codes will look like, core capabilities, as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet points. These sentences, they're not long at all. They're very short and to the point. Your differentiator, actually, this down here is my differentiator. So remember, whenever I mentioned quantifiable results, so developed and delivered 11 plus workforce development courses, webinars, consulting programs, and master classes, that'll be a differentiator. Trained 100 plus professionals through virtual webinars, things like that. That's a differentiator. And then, of course, I'll go ahead and edit those. And then past performance will be like, okay, you created these webinars. How many people actually registered for the webinar? How many people actually showed up for the webinar, right? So say, for instance, I had 100 people to register for the webinar, but only 50 people showed up to the webinar. So that will be a past performance. And again, the company data. So again, this will give you an idea of what your capability statement looks like. Make sure it's nice, neat, and clean. One page should suffice. I see where some people have 2 pages, but 1 page is good enough. And again, if you haven't had like a contract, then past performance, whether it's curriculum development or if you have clients if you have like a consulting firm and you've had past clients, that can be part of your past performance, and making sure that you say, okay, I had so many 10 clients and I trained them on X, Y, and Z. That's past performance. And then also I would recommend your logo going at the top, and then making sure that your colors, your company colors, kind of like branding, is on here as well. Okay. I don't see any comments. I do see a couple of people that are on. Again, what are your questions? I'll stay on for a few more minutes to answer any questions. Make sure you type it in the chat. Let me go back out. It may be a delayed response here. Okay. I don't see any questions. Tomorrow, stay tuned for how you're going to be able to, how buyers are going to be able to find you in DSBS and what that actually looks like and what it actually means for you and for the buyers too. Okay. I will see you tomorrow. And again, register for this event. It's going to place you on our MWBE retreat that we plan on having this year. And then also, if you have registered for this event, all my courses, webinars, classes, master classes, I upload those into Thinkific so you can watch it on demand. Thank you for presenting this information. You're very welcome. I hope this was helpful. You know, in my opinion, from what I've seen, this is not something that's necessarily discussed in the clinical research space. And, you know, we have what I call the normal route on getting jobs or opportunities in the clinical research space, whether it's becoming a site owner, principal investigator, CRA, CRC, those types of things, getting into regulatory. But again, what I realized is this is another way of obtaining more information and more opportunities as far as making money. And I'm telling you, even let's say one of the NAS codes for me is like workforce development. I got to look at one of the codes. We went through and I was like in awe. I had to kind of collect my thoughts. I could not believe. And another thing, the government has set aside so many contracts and amount of money for small minority business owners. And the amount of money that is out there is astronomically, it is wow. It wows me. And you can make a really, really decent living off of these contracts. So again, you know, I was certified within 30 days and capability statement is almost done. So we're getting into the next phase. And then I also like to show you all the process in which I'm going through and kind of like in real time. So I can share my experiences and kind of let you guys know like, hey, this is what you can and cannot do. And this is what is offered out to you or what's, you know, applicable or the opportunities that are there that you can tap into. So anything else before I end the live? If not, this concludes today's lesson. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully at 5 o'clock, as long as the power does not go out. All right. Thank you. And I will see you soon.